Podcast episode
number
10.
10. Hooray!
Nishmas Harav Yosef Yitzchak ben Meir Shalom Rabbi Itkin and Shalom Duber ben David Shlita. And what were we talking about?
1 second. ולזכות כל החיים.
Kol HaChaim.
Whoever is alive
Also,
also.
and not just HaChaim, and especially Lizchut Kol HaChayalim.
Oh,
especially all the soldiers.
Yeah, they should come back home safe and sound.
Yeah, and those who are prisoners should come back safe and unharmed. And this should be the last final tribulation that we had to undergo in exile, and should be now only redemption, straight into redemption, nothing else.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the recap. So we started off with what? With what a proud person has to look at somebody else.
Yes. To find the good in someone else. And then we moved on. They need to do it again. Once you already found something good, don't quit there and go find out something else.
It says what? That the old man, each little time, the guy who was the bad guy that was there before, he's not that bad guy anymore.
Yes.
But now you got to do it again and again and again.
And now we're moving on to the next stage.
Right.
The next stage is that you need to imply it on yourself.
Right. You are people too. So when you look at somebody else, in this way, you have to also look at yourself in that way.
Yes.
Right. And first of all, this stops amongst other things. First of all, it helps you make yourself little by little better.
Right.
But also it stops you because when a person looks at himself bad, only looks at what the bad
he gets depressed from davening or even operating at home, like regular stuff, you're not in a mood, you're not in a mood.
Yeah, you go down when you're depressed.
To get to the mood.
Right. So when you look at yourself in this way, it also makes you happy and joyous because you're looking at the little good thing that you did, and it makes you do a little more good thing and a little more good thing.
Yes. That's awesome. Now from that they moved on to Azamra Elokai Be'odim. Through this little finding a little bit more in yourself, through that you actually are managed to get nigunim, songs made out of it, and whoever
that each little good thing is a note.
It's like a note, and through all those notes, this is how a manig, a shliach tzibur, somebody who's in charge of gathering the tzibur stuff, you need to be able to take those songs, those notes, and make beautiful music out of it for God, praising God.
So now, when it's yourself, you're looking at yourself, you can make a song.
1 second, you need to be able to do those elevation of the people that you around you by finding the good in them.
In every one of them, right?
Yes.
So when it's yourself, it's like a single person, you're making a song, right? If I get up and I sing. A shliach tzibur, I mean the person who's representing the community and davening, and he's finding the good in every one of them. This is an orchestra because he's finding all the notes from each person around him.
Because Judaism is not about individualism; it's about
you know what's beautiful about this mashal? No, say something beautiful about this mashal. A shliach tzibur, someone who's going to represent the kehillah, right?
Yeah.
So he's finding good, right? It has to be in every single person there, right? Think about an orchestra,
including himself.
Yeah.
You cannot be like, I'll lead you all, but
not only that, and think about an orchestra. This is why it's such a good marshal. Think an orchestra, and everybody's playing good, and one guy plays a bad note.
Oh my!
The whole thing is done. So this is the beautiful thing of this. So shliach tzibur, you have to remember, if you have one bad note in there, you mess the whole orchestra.
No,
every single person you have to look good.
This is why this mashal is bad, because over here, this shliach tzibur needs to even absorb this one bad note and be like, no, that's a good note.
No, because it's not the bad note. The problem is that it shouldn't be a bad note at all. You shouldn't see the bad note. It shouldn't be even a good note that you need to be oblivious of the bad. There's no bad notes. You find the good note. Everybody has some good note, some little, you find the good note. And then it's all good notes. Anyway.
Sounds good.
So that's what we're holding. And then, where are we holding here?
All right, Meda. שיש בכל דור ודור רואה והוא בחינת משה. In every single generation, there is a
shepherd,
and he's on the same level of Moshe. He's not on the same level. He's on the concept. He's on the same concept.
He's the same idea as a Moshe.
That he is a true leader of,
Yeah.
of the
It
sheep.
means a trusted shepherd,
Yes.
and like it's explained in Va'ata Tetzaveh, the Maimer from Lubavitch Rebbe of Rai Mehemna. What does it mean? It's two meanings. One is he's trusted to be a shepherd. The other thing is also he is the shepherd of trust. That he's the one who brings faith to the people.
וזה הרועה, הוא עושה משכן, and this shepherd, he is the one who makes the mishkan.
Right, like we know Moshe Rabbeinu was the only one who could make the tabernacle in the desert. Yeah.
ודע, שתינוקות של בית רבן מקבלים הבל פיהם שאין בו חטא, מזה המשכן. And you should know that through this a leader of the generation, who could make this mishkan, that is B'chinas Moshe, because only Moshe can make. You should know that the babies of Am Yisrael, the young generation, the
Jewish children,
they get their breath, from that there is no sin in it from this mishkan.
From this,
ועל כן, התינוק כשמתחיל לקרות ולהיכנס בתורה. This why a young youth, a Jewish youth, when he starts learning and starting to learn Torah, וכולו,
הוא
מתחיל מן ויקרא אל מוישה. He starts from Parshas Vayikra, Vayikra El Moshe.
Which, by the way, Vayikra is the beginning of the third book of the 5 books. Wait a second. Why doesn't he start at Bereshit, the first book? So no, he starts not there. He starts by Vayikra El Moshe. And Hashem calls it Moshe.
That it's after a small aleph.
Yeah, the aleph in Vayikra, the last letter, is little.
כי ויקרא מדבר מגמר הקמת המשכן. Oh, because the Vayikra is
right. That's when they started doing the sacrifices.
Well, this one is
right. So they already finished.
It's after the Mishkan.
Now when the Mishkan is finished, we start the
sacrifice. You get all you.
So, right? Because in order for them to start learning, the Mishkan has to be finished already.
שאז קראו השם, התברך, והתחיל לדבר עמו מהמשכן. This is when the Eibishter called Moshe and he started to talk to him about the Mishkan.
Right.
So, no, Vayikra is not. He's talking about the finishing of making the Mishkan, not the Korbanos. Migmar hakamat Mishkan.
Oh, right. So it's the final.
It's like finalizing.
Right. Right. In Shemais, they were building it and all that kind of thing. And here, they're finally,
ועל משם מתחילים התינוקות. This is where the use of Am Yisrael starts. כי משם מקבלים הבל פיהם כנ"ל, ומשם מתחילים לקרות ולהיכנס לתוך התורה. Because this is where the Am Yisrael, the use of Israel, they get their chayus from the Mishkan.
Right. Their whole life force and their whole energy to do this from the
Mishkan. And from there, you are starting to learn and learning and reading and getting into the mint of Torah.
Beautiful.
ודע.
And know.
שכל הצדיקים שבדור. And yes. ודע שכל הצדיקים שבדור. You should know that every tzaddik of the generation, כל אחד ואחד מבחינת רואה, each individual of them, the tzaddikim of the door, each one of them is in a concept on a level of a shepherd, a leader. כי בכל אחד ואחד יש בו בחינת משה. Because each one of them have the essence of Moshe. וכל אחד ואחד לפי בחינתו, and each one of them on his
according to his level and his thing.
Mishkan, he's doing a different kind of the part of the Mishkan. You know, there is tzaddikim who's like the Buyan, for example. The whole thing is Malchus.
Right.
Lubavitch, the whole thing is
right. You know, like for example, the Rebbeinu had a very different personality than the Pupa Rav. The Pupa Rav was very much in Lamdanus and the refined aspects of all. Okay, so he's a Mishkan for that thing. He's a tabernacle for that. The Rebbeinu was a tabernacle for Avoid B'Pshitos and Simcha, and each tzaddik is the Mishkan for that certain thing.
And they're all an extended end of Moshe. The same thing. Shoitrim v'shoiftim, right?
Yeah. The police officer.
So Alofim, you can't have one guy handling everything, right?
Right.
So you're creating a system.
Courts and
that you have like different people, but each one it's an extension of Moshe Rabbeinu.
Right. It's not just representing as like it's an extension.
It's an extension. 100%. And if he cannot figure it out, he goes to this supervisor, and the supervisor until they
So in other words, by Moshe Rabbeinu, this was the thing we see in Parshas Yisro, that his father-in-law told him one person can't handle all the questions. So they made judges who are going to be on top of 100,000 and then 10,000.
It's not judges.
And the judges and policemen.
You have you have judges and policemen,
right?
And you have sorei alofim and sorei mayors. And you have ministers. Ministers for thousands.
Going down on each.
400. So basically rabbis.
But also in our court system, how does the court system work? Right, in the court system, the way it worked was you brought it to the person who was for 1,000. Now, if this case was too complicated, right? You bring it up. In fact, the American courts are based ultimately, if you track them back, they're based on the
also the democratic system is based on that.
Right, and then you go back. You go back to finally, if you can, you go to the Supreme Court, the Sanhedrin. Ultimately, if you can, if none of the other courts can determine.
Anyway, enough about the American system.
Yeah.
שמשם מקבלים, כי כל אחד ואחד, וכל אחד ואחד לפי בחינתו, הוא עושה בחינת משכן. And each individual of them on his level is making a משכן. שמשם מקבלים התינוקות אבל פיהם כנ"ל. That from there, those youth of Am Yisrael are getting their breath and energy.
Yeah.
וכל אחד לפי בחינתו, and each one, according to the Moshe of the door, according to the tzaddik, and also the youth who are surrounding him, each one on his own level. לפי בחינת המשכן שהוא עושה, and also the tzaddik is according to the בחינה of the his משכן, כמו כן יש לו תינוקות שהם מקבלים משם. He also have like
you just said, that just like he's making a mishkan that has a certain energy to it, and those people, right? For example, you, right? The mishkan you need is a Breslover mishkan. Me, the mishkan I need is a Lubavitcher mishkan. That's why you have a certain tzaddik and I have a certain tzaddik. Because we are shaykh to that mishkan. That's the mishkan that we need to be the best in our godly service.
Yeah,
you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. You need a Breslover mishkan, and I need a Lubavitcher.
Right. So that's why.
Me and I teach you.
Yeah, exactly.
כמו נמצא שיש לכל אחד ואחד מצדיקי הדור סך תינוקות שהם מקבלים הבל פיהם ממנו. So basically, just because your son was born Lubavitch or my son was born Breslover, it doesn't mean that he is taking the youth and the liveliness from the Lubavitch or the Breslover. He might have a different concept, a different level in him that he gets his chayus. It doesn't need to be a follower. Each tzaddik have a certain amount of babies of youth that are assigned because they need this bchina, even though they were never going to meet.
Right. But that's the mishkan they need.
Yeah. כל אחד לפי בחינתו כנ"ל. וזה בחינת מה שאמרו אבותינו זיכרונם לברכה, שתינוקות נתפסים על עוון הדור. And this is what the חז"ל, חכמינו זיכרונם לברכה,
our sages of blessed memory. Our sages, may their memory be a blessing.
חכמינו זיכרונם לברכה. That basically that the youth of the Am Yisrael are getting caught. Basically, they're being judged on the sin of this generation. שנאמר, וראי את גדיותייך על משכנות הרועים. And you will see your
kids, your kid goats. It's like a kid goat.
How do you say gdi?
It's a kid goat.
It's
your goats. A goat.
No, it's have a name.
It's called a kid goat.
No, this is how you call it. It's have a name.
Shloima.
I don't name my food. על משכנות הרועים, שמתמשכנין על הרועים. Basically, the goats get punished on the shepherd problems.
Yeah.
וזהו על משכנות הרועים, שהם מקבלים פיהם מבחינת המשכנות של הרועים, דהיינו הצדיקים שבדור. שכל אחד עושה משכן. Basically, משכנות is from a word of משכן.
Right.
So he says, the משכנות של הרועים, this is how they get the energy, is through the tzaddikim of the door is making a mishkan, each one of them, and this is the mishkanois.
Right.
אך לידע כל זאת, דהיינו, לדעת כל צדיק וצדיק איזה הם התינוקות השייכים לו וכמה מקבלים ממנו, ולידע כל הבחינות שיש בזה, והדור שיבוא מסוף ועד הסוף.
Right. So now when it comes to figure out, so which person has to do it with tzaddik, which person belongs to which mishkan. So
דע שמי שיכול לעשות ניגונים עליו, הוא יכול לדע כל זה. So not just because you are a tzaddik who makes mishkan, it doesn't mean that you can actually also make ניגונים. But for you if you know how to make the nigunim, you could know who is the people who belong to you and who is the people who belong to someone else. There is a lot of stories.
Which the tzaddikim would know, and the
somebody
tzaddikim who would send to somebody else.
And
Why? Because he knows it's not
tzaddikim were trying to get specific people towards them. There was a lot of stories, even in Lubavitch.
Right. The only problem is when two people, when two people sing a different song at the same time, how it gets. So then, the two tzaddikim going after one chassid. Then you have
a. yeah. וזהו סוד מה שאמרו רבותינו זיכרונם לברכה במשנה. באמת אמרו החזן רואה הכנת תינוקות קוראים.
Right, so this is the secret. What is this? This is the secret of what the sages said in the Mishnah.
באמת אמרו.
They said in true, right? It's true what they said.
החזן רואה היכן התינוקות קוראים. מסכת שבת.
The means like the cantor, but the chazan is more. It means like the messenger, the messenger of the congregation.
He sees where the youth are reading.
He sees how they are reading. Yeah.
Meaning, דהיינו, מי שיכול לעשות את הניגונים הללו.
Right, the person who can see this good in every person.
שיכול להיות חזן או שליח ציבור להתפלל לפני עמוד כנ"ל.
Right.
הוא רואה ויודע היכן התינוקות קוראים.
Right. He's the one who can see where they're holding.
היינו, אצל איזה צדיק הם מקבלים הבל פיהם.
He can understand from which tzaddik they belong.
Which
makes sense. Well, think about it. The person who sees the good in everybody is the person who sees everybody's out, like he sees their what do you call it? Their skills and their beauty and their ability.
Or where they belong.
And then he can see where they belong.
היינו, אצל איזה צדיק הם מקבלים הבל פיהם שעל ידו הם קוראים ונכנסים בתורה כנ"ל.
That's how they enter into the Torah through that tzaddik.
Wow.
Tam v'nishlam sefer rishon. We didn't actually finish it. We started in the end, but still.
He didn't say we finished it. He said this is the
right. Tam, this is right. V'nishlam completed. It's nishlam.
It's like Tam is
completion. Oh wait, sefer rishon, the first sefer.
Yeah.
the hilal el achron v'rishon, the praise to our God, who is the first, who's the last, and the first.
Yeah.
Okay. Now the other shir is starting. Have a fantastic day, and we'll
thank you everybody for following for 10 weeks.
Yeah,
not in a row, but
okay. Listen.
Plus
minus. 3 out of 10 ain't bad.
As we say, it's not a big deal. $1 more, $1,000.
Have an amazing day.